The RTE Rugby Podcast, sponsored by Canterbury, proud official kit suppliers to the Irish men and women's rugby teams.
Now, over the course of the season here on RTE Sport, I'm going to be checking in with as many Irish rugby players and coaches as I possibly can get my hands on over the course of this season, who are out and around outside of the Irish provincial system, because there is an ever-growing number of players out there, whether it's across in England, in France, or even now in the USA at the moment, or even the odd player down under in Australia or New Zealand. But to start off this little series that we're going to have over the course of the season, I'm not going too far. I'm only going across to West London and to the Orafew Championship. And I'm going to speak to two Irish players from the Ealing Trailfinders. First of those, David Johnston, who's been with the club since 2018. David is ex of Munster, while Cian Kelleher more recently arrived at Ealing after spells initially at Leinster, then over at Connacht, before another spell back at Leinster as well. And he's joined up at Ealing for the coming season as well, as they look to gain promotion towards the English Premiership and the 2-year exemption that's going to come with it as well when it comes to ring fencing. But David and Cian, thanks a million for joining us. How are you getting on?
Good, yeah.
It's good. Thanks for having us on.
David, I mentioned at the start there in my introduction that it is a huge season for Ealing, as it has been for the last couple of years, because you've consistently been going for promotion now for the last few seasons. But obviously the fact that for the next 2 seasons coming, the Premiership is going to be ring fenced. So whoever does go up this year out of the Championship is going to have time to blend in, time to get used to the surroundings, rather than, traditionally just having that situation where as soon as you go up, you're trying to keep your head above the water instantly. So all things considered, it is just a massive year for yourselves at Ealing.
Yeah, you're right. I think the club has kind of progressed a lot since I arrived. This is actually my 4th season now with Ealing. So every year the quality of the squad has improved massively, and I think from the time I've been here, this is the best squad we put together. We've improved a lot in terms of the whole organisation. And yeah, we're really excited for this. We had a good year last year. I think we proved ourselves that when we played those kind of Premiership style opposition, that we could really compete. And we had some great results against Newcastle. Sarries a couple of times, but we probably got to see the level when we played them in the playoff games. We can see the standards that's required. So we've taken a lot of learnings from that and try to bring it into this season. So really looking forward to it, and it'll be a massive year for us, but we're ready for it.
Was there any level of frustration when you found out that Saracens were going to be relegated down to the Championship, that you'd been coming close for a couple of seasons to actually getting that mark, and you go, oh, all of a sudden it's Saracens who are going to be coming down rather than the 12th best team in the Premiership?
Yeah, I suppose we kind of knew from earlier on in the season, the way things had happened, that was going to be the case. So we could only kind of play what was put in front of us. We're lucky to be able to keep training and playing during coronavirus, and our season was really delayed. We only started in I think it was February in the end when we actually got going. So it was a quite short, condensed season. I think we actually learned a lot playing against them. They're obviously a really quality team, and we played them I think four times during the course of the year. So from game to game, learning to see how they adapted to us and we adapted to them, we've definitely taken some massive learnings from that. And obviously difficult team to play, but we had to just get on with things. And obviously there is some frustration there, but we're looking forward to this season now. It's all in our control. So it's up to us to get it done now.
And you mentioned as well yourself that you've been there a few years. I was speaking to Mike from the club there just before you came on, and this weekend you're set for appearance 50 for Ealing. When you arrived back in 2018, did you envisage that you'd be here for a good number of years, or was it very much a kind of a let's see how this all goes? Yeah,
definitely. I didn't really know too much about Ealing, to be honest. We played against them in the B&I Cup game a couple of years before I joined, and that's probably the first time I'd heard of Ealing. So when it came time that I was leaving Munster, I had been chatting to them over a year or two previously, and I think when I arrived, the squad had changed nearly completely. There was 27, 28 new players arrived when I arrived, so it was kind of getting a new squad to try and progress to that next level. So I got in at a really good time, and there's kind of still a core group of us who arrived at that time, still in the squad. So that's kind of been the core group for the last couple of years, and we've added really good quality as we've progressed. And no, I've been delighted to play here. It's a really good club, really good guys, and as I said, I didn't really know too much about it, but now that I'm here, I'm loving it.
Ian, you're only just in the door at Ealing. How have you found things since you came over in the summer?
Yeah, I've loved it. I obviously came over in July now, and I was similar to DJ. I didn't really know too much about Ealing before coming over. It was like kind of kept a close eye on them last year, as like when they got the result against Saris at the start of the year in the Trailfinders Cup, which I think a lot of World Rugby kind of saw, and got a bit of an interest in them then. So I was in West London and saw where like the ambitious plans they had, and yeah, like when the time came in February time, I was chatting to Wardy. Yeah, I was really interested, and like by the time I got over, I was really impressed at the setup and stuff what they have here, and where they want to go. It's obviously frustrating. Played the 2 games against Gloucester, and then I got injured there, so I haven't been able to contribute the last few weekends. But hopefully back soon and can really get going and help the lads push for that promotion at the end of the year.
You spoke there about, you know, when the decision came for you around February or so. Was that when you get the news in Leinster that, you know, unfortunately there isn't going to be a contract here for you, you're going to have to look elsewhere? And like what were the options for you at that stage? Was Ealing one of a number of potential options you had?
Yeah, so I kind of got let go. I think they started doing the contracts. Was it the second week of January in Leinster?
Yeah, because they couldn't before January last year, obviously.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of shocked at the time, because I thought I was playing a lot and I was playing well. Like, so when I got called in, I was a bit taken off guard by it. But then I just started like getting in touch with people. Like Birch was very good, and like the likes like Friendly and stuff are very good. I just ring around, like even Pat Lamb got in touch. So like there's a lot of like good people in my corner. My agent like got a few clubs involved. Like, but to be honest, I was more keen on like staying somewhat local, and then in terms of like London so close to home, and then actually getting something for after rugby as well. Like, and like Ealing put in a clause in my contract that they'd support me in doing a master's through Brunel, which they're linked with, in business finance, which is great. Like, so kind of give you that kind of gives you that like thing on the back burner to kind of help you and enjoy your rugby a bit more, knowing that you're kind of taking a step in the right direction after rugby too.
And you say as well, like this, you know, there were people that you were reaching out to, like, and people who were helping you get in touch with other people like Bernard Jackman, Andy Friends, Pat Lamb. How much of rugby at that level is actually like, how much networking is involved? That, yeah, you know, if you're a poor teammate, or if you're a bit of an ass in the dressing room, like, you know, these guys probably aren't going to go out and back for you down the line in a couple of years. So how much of it is it down to, you know, making those connections while you are at a club? Because, you know, in 2-3 years time, you might need a helping hand from one of these people.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I actually didn't realize until last year how much it matters. Like knowing people in circles and stuff. Because I suppose when you're younger, like it kind of just happens for you. It kind of falls into place. But as you get older, like, and like it gets a bit more ruthless with age. You kind of realize you need these people in your corner to give you a helping hand now and then. But yeah, like I kind of find everyone kind of looks out for each other at the same time once you've like played with them, and like you're not a bad teammate, as you said, or whatever. Like they'll bat your corner and give you a hand. And
like you spoke as well about when you did get the news from Leinster that, you know, it came as a little bit of a surprise to you. You thought you were going well enough there at that stage. Like, what sort of a crushing feeling is that when you go in and you get that news?
Yeah, like it was a weird one, because I was living with Roy Loughlin and Ross Maloney at the time, so like we'd be like best mates. I think we were all pretty shocked in the house because I don't know, we just didn't like, we were all, I think Ross was up for a contract that year as well, so like we were both kind of talking about contracts a good bit coming up to the time, and I suppose neither of us kind of thought that either of us would be being let go. So when it happened, I was like, "Jesus, I didn't see that coming." I was kind of blindsided, but like it was COVID, and that's the ruthlessness of the sport. Like, it happens. To be honest, like I was pretty shocked at the time, but I wasn't upset or anything because I kind of wanted to leave Dublin at the same time. I was kind of done with the Irish system and how it was going. Like, I was kind of frustrated with it, and like it's been real nice, like breath of fresh air coming over to Ealing, like experience new coaches and experience like a whole new playing squad. And that's a great thing about rugby, is the social aspect of it. Like I spent 3 years in Galway, and I consider those as my best mates, and went back to Leinster, was playing with all my best mates from school again, and then like come to Ealing again, and a whole new group of mates from all over the world, and like incredible lads, and gives you a really good perspective on everything too. Like they've all come from different backgrounds, and you get to find out what makes them tick or what they enjoy and how they see the game and stuff. So I think I've got a pretty good perspective of it all now, and I'm actually pretty grateful for how it's actually played out. Like getting to live in West London and stuff, it doesn't get much better than that.
And what was it about the Irish system you were finding frustrating at the time?
I don't know, like I don't know, like I suppose for me, I don't know, like I got injured a lot. I got injured a lot when things were going well, and just things were about to go well, I'd probably miss out on a chance that maybe it was like international selection when I was younger, or just get game time then in Munster when I was going well. Like, so it never really panned out the way I wanted it. So it was just frustrating. It was a frustrating time, and I think I didn't really enjoy it as much as I would have liked. Like, it was kind of, it nearly did feel at times like more of a job and a chore than it should have. Like, I was kind of constantly frustrated with either like my body not being right to perform how I wanted to, or whatever. Like, so yeah, like, yeah, it was like, I don't mean to talk negatively at all, like, because I did love it, but you know, like it can be a frustrating sport at times, and yeah, that was kind of my feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, just the need for a fresh start. David, like, I would have, in the lead up to this, I read an interview you gave to the 42 a couple of years ago. I think maybe just around about the time that you might have joined Ealing, and you were kind of, I suppose, the opposite at Munster. You would have said that, you know, when the time came that you didn't get offered a new contract, you kind of knew the writing had been on the wall for a while. You obviously hadn't been playing. And I imagine there would have been similar frustrations to what Cian was talking about there, where, you know, it's kind of week on week, and you might think you're playing well, and if you get a couple of minutes here, you do well, and all of a sudden you're not getting back on the pitch again for another couple of months. Like, what's that frustration like when you're in the squad, but you're not in the squad almost?
Yeah, I think it's in every team, every quality team, you're going to have those number of guys who aren't getting played as much as they like to. I love my time at Munster. It was what I always wanted to do when I was young, and it was a blessing and a dream to be able to play for them. And when the time came to leave, it all kind of worked out. In the end, I just finished my degree at UL, and I kind of known for probably the year before that I was going to be leaving. So I was ready for a new challenge. And when Ealing came along and we played against them, I knew a bit about them, I was ready just to jump at something new. And as Cian said, come to live in London and experiencing all that and meeting new people. With Ealing as well, it's, as Cian said, it's quite strange. You get a lot of different people from everywhere that probably didn't know too much about the team, and then we're all playing together for a team in London that we probably never thought we would have. So that kind of brings a lot of people together, because a lot of the guys aren't actually from London, so we actually end up spending a lot of time with each other because we're all away from home and we're all kind of feeling the same feeling. So no, it's been brilliant to just kind of grow with the team over the last number of years, and exciting to see where we can get to.
Yeah, I suppose like most of the squad are going to be blow-ins pretty much.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
you're all pretty much doing the same thing of you're
Yeah.
trying to chase that dream of just being a professional rugby player. And I'd be curious as well, like as you were saying, when the time came and you did leave and you did go to Ealing, would you have considered getting out of rugby altogether, or were you determined, you wanted another crack at a different club just to give this thing one more go?
Yeah, no, I didn't feel like I had given it, I had gotten the opportunity to give it everything I wanted to. So I think I was only 23, 24 when I left. So no, I was really confident to keep going and just to grow with the team. And that's the thing, when you're not involved, you probably don't feel that value of I'm heading to the group, and you probably don't feel as close to the group because you're not helping the guys at the weekend. And that's what I really enjoy now. I feel like I add a lot of value to where I am at the moment, and that gives me like really good satisfaction to see myself improving as a player, and then the team improving, and the guys that I've moved here with improving as well. So no, that's what I've really enjoyed.
And when you arrived here, were you pretty much into the kind of match day squad straight away? Were you getting consistent game time week or week, or was that something that you kind of had to build up towards as well?
I was something that I had to build up to, but since I've been lucky, I've been fit since I've been here. So I've got a good string of games, and yeah, getting my 50th this weekend would be great. But no, yeah, I've been kind of got to play that run of games and felt like I was improving with that game time, and then just improving with the group as well has been brilliant.
And what does that do for just your overall mood, for your mental health? That you're coming in training every single day, and you're training towards playing a game at the weekend. Yeah,
massive. Yeah, it's just a sense of purpose that you feel like what you're doing is actually of value, and you're adding to the group. That's what I felt was beneficial. People asking my opinion and valuing what I'm saying, where sometimes with the quality of the teams in Ireland, a lot of the time it's maybe just the senior players that have big influence, and what you do mightn't have the same effect. Whereas here, I feel like everything I do is really of value, and that gives you great purpose. Yeah.
And like when you look at the Ealing squad at the moment, like I'm speaking to 2 Irish players here, it's 2 of about 8 or 9 Irish players in the squad, and a couple more other Irish guys in the academy as well. You've Cian Campbell, who's been brought in, from the Irish under-20 and Ulster setup as well. Like there's a huge Irish influence on the club. But even if you look around the rest of the league and into the Premiership, into France and Pro D2, like the numbers of Irish players that are going abroad to keep chasing that dream just seems to be growing year on year. I suppose the question for both of you, do you think like that is the world just getting a little bit smaller for all of us, that, the idea of going abroad to ply your trade and go out and do it somewhere else is kind of just a lot more appealing? Whereas, I don't know, maybe just anecdotally, it feels like to me maybe 10 years ago, the idea for most players was if they didn't get their contract at Munster, Leinster, Connacht or Ulster, that they were probably packing it in and maybe they were going playing a little bit of AIL. And for some players, they weren't even doing that. So like are players just a bit more inclined and a bit more open to the idea of exploring the world a little bit more and using that rugby skills they have down the years to go out and earn a living and chase the dream?
Yeah, I'd say like it's a great stepping stone to experience something else. Like, and I think a lot of lads are kind of now using to leverage that to get a different experience, whether it be America, Australia, like France, Japan, even. Like I know a lot of lads in America, I know a lot of lads in like that have played in Australia, France, and like 1 or 2 in Japan, and they've all loved it. Like it's been just like a complete eye opener and gives you a completely different perspective on the sport, and they've loved it. Like, and they're like really grateful for the doors, I suppose, will be opens as well.
And David, how would you think on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think when you grow up playing rugby in Ireland, obviously you want to play for the 4 provinces, but I don't think, like as you're saying, chasing the dream, I don't really view it as that. I think it's to be playing professional rugby wherever you're playing is brilliant. And I think a lot of guys have seen people who've gone abroad and and had the experience to play in different teams. I think it's brilliant. I think guys that haven't had the chance to play in the four provinces, it's not that you're not chasing the dream anymore. It's just another opportunity to go out and enjoy what you're doing.
And David, I'd be curious as well, like how many Irish would there have been at Ealing when you would have arrived in there?
There was a couple actually when I did arrive. Pete Lydon, he plays in France. Craig Trinier, who's at Harlequins. Ryan Foley, who's another Munster boy, was here. Ben Betts was another Munster guy. So there was always a few. I think that's the strength of the Irish system. I think Ealing have really valued. I've seen the value in how maybe just professional and how quickly the Irish guys learn. I think we've got a really good background from being in the Irish systems with the schools and provinces, that we've learned so much throughout the years that they really value the Irish guys. They know they're going to be getting quality players, quality professionals. I think that's grown definitely with Ealing, and having Cian come in is another strength of the Irish system, seeing how progressed we really are, and they really value Irish players. So I think, yeah, that goes to show how strong we are.
And Cian, that probably touches on the experience you've had. And I know like Stuart Lancaster even has mentioned it on a few times down the years of how eye-opening it was when he saw a lot of those Leinster academy players coming out of St. Michael's and from other schools as well, and just how professional they are and just how drilled they are for like the day-to-day routine of rugby at such a young age. Like you would have come through St. Michael's, I presume you would have experienced a lot of that, just how well drilled and how professional the setups are there.
Yeah, it's so impressive. Like even from when I was there, like it was kind of we were only starting to see the benefits of it when I was leaving. I went back there before COVID just to see a few of the coaches like Cian and McMahon, and like they're so professional. Like the players know the pathway that they have to go on to get into the academy. Like it's so laid out for them now. Like it's like really impressive what they have in place now. Michaels, and I'd say it's the exact same Blackrock, Belvo, Clongowes. Like they all have those stepping stones, and they know what they have to do to get into the either the Leinster Academy or else could be Connacht, Ulster, or Munster. And then if not, like they know they can go abroad with what they've seen other lads do more recently too.
And David, you would have come through at Rockwell, as well as your brother Bill, a couple of years younger than you as well, who's at Ealing now as well. But what was that stepping stone? Did you feel like from schools level to academy level, was there a big jump, or did you feel like that you were prepped as well as you could be?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think since you're like probably 16, you're probably training as if you're a professional. So when the time came leaving school and going to UL and training with Munster, I think yeah, you're right. We were pretty much ready for that professional kind of lifestyle, the day-to-day requirements, and we all loved it. So it wasn't tough work. We all really loved it and wanted to be there. So it's easy when you enjoy it.
And like the fact that you have been here a few years now, and I mentioned that your brother Bill is over at Ealing as well. He kind of came over at the tail end of last season and made the move permanent this season as well. Like, have you been almost like a kind of a secret agent, getting phoning up lads, ringing them up? Were you on to Cian, telling him, would you have known each other before you met this summer?
Yeah, we played a bit of the Irish underage stuff, so we would have known each other. And yeah, when Bill moved over, it was I think he knew he was going to be leaving Ulster, and we actually just had an injury out half the week before, and a couple of days later Bill was over, so it all moved very quickly. But it's been great. I played a couple of Munster A games and underage stuff with Bill, so that was great to have him over and see what he can do this year now.
And speaking of brothers, Cian, your younger brother Ronan, he's not doing too bad for himself these days, is he?
Yeah, I'm actually getting him over now next year. No, yeah, he's fine. He's going well. Yeah, I'll probably leave him a year or two now to just get a World Cup in, and then try twist his arms, come over to Ealing and help us in the Prem. Like,
yeah, that's not too bad.
Get us into the Champions Cup spot.
It's not too bad an idea. like you said as well, David, earlier on, that you were talking about how the squad has changed so much down the years, and maybe in the last couple of years it has become more settled at Ealing. Is that an issue maybe for other clubs in the Championship, just the kind of turnover of players year on year, and how difficult that is to make a consistent club and a consistent squad?
Yeah, I think especially since last year, a lot of teams, we were very fortunate we were able to keep training and keep our squad together, whereas a lot of teams, without having the revenue from game days, really struggled. And then it's difficult for guys to stay committed to teams when they might only be training once or twice a week and trying to play games. So, no, it definitely is a challenge, but we're really lucky at Ealing. We're able to keep going and keep building the squad. And the better we do, we're able to attract better players. And hopefully that continues on next year.
And you would have had a little bit of a setback at the weekend, David. You lost out to Cornish Pirates, having had a good win against Hartpury the opening day of the season. Is it no harm to have maybe a defeat like that early on in the campaign, just to keep everyone grounded a little bit? Yeah,
you're right. No, we're very disappointed. I think we only had ourselves to blame. We need to control how we perform every week, and as you said, it's a long season. A lot of quality teams and teams have had a really good pre-season getting ready for this season, and we're under no illusion now of the challenge that's going to come up to us every week until the end of the season. So yeah, good reality check, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves, and we really have to concentrate on making a plan and performing and executing that plan every week.
All right, well listen, it's been great chatting to you, and the very best of luck this weekend on your 50th as well, David, and throughout the course of the season, Cian. I'm sure we'll see you out in the green and white hoops soon enough. But David Johnston and Cian Kelleher, thanks a million for joining us on RT Sport.
Cheers.
Cheers, Alan.
Thanks very much.
The RTE Rugby Podcast, sponsored by Canterbury, proud official kit suppliers to the Irish men and women's rugby teams.